Hey guys, Bobby here. Um, as you probably have already heard, Frank's in some big trouble for his pranks, so he's not allowed on the computer for a little while. Anyways, Mrs. Cummins said I could tell some jokes to you guys, so here goes. Why does Waldo wear stripes? Like me, I got stripes. Oh, aren't they beautiful? Anyways, Waldo doesn't wear stripes because he doesn't want to be spotted. Okay, for you Star Wars fans, what do you call Chewbacca when he has chocolate stuck in his hair? A chocolate chip Wookie. What do you call an alligator in a vest? An investigator. Oh, finally, time for one more, real quick. Why couldn't the pirate play cards? Arrgh, because he was sitting on the deck. All right, later, dudes. Bye. Hey, well done, Bobby. Good job. Third graders, grammar time. So, got some new stuff this week. How you guys doing? And so you probably want to get your green book out if you want to follow, or you'll have to be a very, very good listener. Pay attention. Don't get distracted. Okay, here we go. So we already just started pattern 2, and now we're moving on to pattern 3. It kind of goes fast. So pattern 3 has to do with what's called indirect objects. We just worked on direct objects. So indirect objects are on page 272 in your green book, and it gives a description. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I am going to read part of it just real quick so you know what an indirect object is. Okay, an indirect object is a noun or pronoun. An indirect object receives what the direct object names. What? What does that mean? Don't worry, we'll figure it out. The indirect object tells to whom or for whom, or to what or for what the action is done. It does not receive the action of the verb because the direct object receives the action. Okay, the third one. This is important. An indirect object is located between the verb transitive and the direct object. So it's in between those. Okay. I'm going to number 5. An indirect object is labeled with the abbreviation IO. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do the practice sentence. If you feel like you want to read more about that, you can see that on page 272, reference 185. Okay, but here we go. I'm going to go to pattern 3, indirect objects. And I know there's a lot up here, so I'll just focus on one thing at a time. We're going to do the Jane bought me a car one. Okay, here we go. Jane bought me a car. Who bought me a car? Jane. Subject, noun. What is being said about Jane? Jane bought. Verb. Jane bought what? Just like we did before, she bought a car. Does car mean the same thing as Jane? No. Car, direct object. Bought is verb transitive. Here's the new part. Jane bought a car for who? Me. Indirect object. A, article, adjective. Okay, we got all sorts of codes going on over here now, okay? Subject, noun, verb transitive, indirect object, so it's just an IO. Direct object, pattern 3. Ooh, secret abbreviations. Period, statement, declarative, sentence. Go back to the verb, divide the complete subject from the complete predicate. Okay, let's do one more together. Okay, this one is, it's on practice 47, which you guys have for this week, and it's number 3. Okay, also your parents have the answer key now, so if you get stuck, they can help you out with that. All right, but this one looked like a little bit of a tough one. So here we go. Sandra's teacher told her the answer to the problem. All right, so let's look for a verb first. Told. Okay, who told? Did Sandra or the teacher tell? It was the teacher. Teacher. Subject noun. What is being said about teacher? Teacher told. Told what? Well, the answer. Does answer mean the same thing as teacher? No. Answer. Direct object. Verb. Transitive. Told the answer to whom? Her. Indirect object. The article. Adjective. To. Preposition. To what? Problem. Object of the preposition. The article. Adjective. Whose teacher? Sandra's. Or Sandra's. Possessive noun. Adjective. Subject noun. Verb. Transitive. Indirect object. Direct object. Pattern 3. Check. To the problem. Prepositional phrase. Period, statement, declarative sentence. Go back to the verb. Divide the complete subject from the complete predicate. So all of your sentences this week are going to be pattern 3 with an indirect object. Okay, so notice, okay, once you get your verb, told what? That's your direct object. To whom or for whom? And it's going to be a pronoun or a noun. Okay, her. Remember that the indirect object is always going to be in between the verb transitive and the direct object. It's going to be in between there somewhere. Okay, so good luck on that new stuff. The other new stuff that you guys have this week is rules for making nouns plural. So that is on page 275, but I also kind of wrote it here on the board. And so let me get a little bit of this clutter out of here. But you can turn to page 275 just to kind of see what I'm doing if you like. All right, so rules for making nouns plural. So you have that box there, okay? Kind of the title is right here. And right here in each box, it tells you that's what you need to do to make it plural. You add an S to nouns. So on this department, you're going to add an S to the nouns without the special endings. So this is rule 1. Most singular nouns, you will just add an S to them to make them plural. For example, fork will become forks. Okay, so that is rule 1. Anything for rule 2 and 3, you will add ES to nouns with these special endings. Okay, so rule 2, if your noun ends with a CH, Z, S, double S, or X, okay, like church does, you would add ES. Okay, rule 3 is another group of nouns with special endings. A consonant, not a vowel, not an A-E-I-O-U, but something, the other ones, the other letters. A consonant plus Y, and you'll change the Y to I before adding ES. So an example is fly. Okay, there's a Y on the end, but if you look before the Y, is the L a consonant or a vowel? It's a consonant. So for fly, you would change your Y to I, and then add your ES. Okay, so 3 and 4 can get mixed up pretty easily. So you really have to look before the Y. So here's for rule 4. Add S to nouns with these special endings. Okay, nouns that end with a Y, but they have a vowel before the Y. Okay, consonant before the Y, vowel before the Y. Such as monkey. Got your Y here and an E. E is a vowel. So all we have to do on monkey is add the S to make monkeys. And finally, rule 5. Okay, this is for rules for making irregular nouns plural. Okay, it's kind of just different nouns that you wouldn't add an S to. So for these nouns, you would change the spelling completely for the plural form, such as man. You don't say the mans are standing over there. You would change the spelling to men. Okay? So rule 5 is kind of those special words that you don't add S to. You'll change the spelling. Okay, so just really quickly, I want to show you, and again, that page 275 gives you some examples as well. But on your chapter or practice 47, I just wanted to do a couple of those so you'll be a little more confident going into those. Okay, so looking at practice 47, I'm going down to exercise 3 where they have the pink like box, that's kind of this. And they have baby as number 1. Okay? They have like these little, all these squares and everything. And they have its rule. And then plural form. And there's a bunch of them. Okay, so let's do a couple together. So they have, oopsie, the word baby for number 1. So baby, it ends in a Y. Okay, so I know it's got to either be rule 3 or rule 4 because it ends with a Y. Well, before the Y is a consonant. So it's going to be this one. Change the Y to I. So it's rule 3. Change the Y to an I. And add the ES. Okay, let's look at the next one. It is truck. All right, truck. If I look at the ending, no, there's no CK here. It doesn't end in a Y. So this is just going to be a regular noun that I add an S to. Okay, which is rule 1. And I would write out trucks. Okay. Let's do one more. Let me see if I can find oh, let's do number 10. Let's do number 10. It's bus. Okay, bus. Ends with an S. Boink. It's going to be this rule. Okay, special ending. So it's rule 2, which rule 2 tells us add ES to it. So it'll be buses. Okay, let me know if you have any more questions on that. I will see you guys later. Bye.